Okay, first and foremost, I would like to give all the honors, the praises, the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Mahavakar Kwadash. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, I mean a very, very few brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in hopes of being saved within these last days, because you know we're living in the last days of the last days, right? And we're going to bring this out a woman, right, by the name of, what's the name? Bubble Bubble. I believe it's what? Bubble Bubble? That's the name, right? She asked, basically, she said, would you do a lesson on, what's it called? Gang stalking, expounding on its links to what they call, what I call human trafficking. So I presented this lesson. I've got all the scriptures I need, and hopefully this will be edifying to you. So I'm going to bring it out. And I just hope this is edifying. And we're going to start off on First Peter's first, right? We're going to go to First Peter's, but before we go to that, the scriptures do say in Ephesians 6 and 10, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual forces of darkness in high places. So remember, first thing, before we get into this, it's forces of darkness and people in high places, right? Gang stalking. First thing I want to set off as in, the first thing I want to say is gang stalking is, well, it gives it away. Gang stalking. Gang, a group. Gang, whatever you want to call it. Organization. Gangs. So these gangs comprise of fraternities, Masons, even Freemasons. The gang stalking comes from people in high places with positions of somewhat power, but it's financial power. This is why you will see it a lot, because there's money behind it. So we're going to start off on First Peter's 4. Actually, we're going to go to 5 and 7. It says, actually go to verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant. So the key thing is to be soberly minded and to be vigilant. Because when you're sober, you can observe. When you're sober, that's when you can be vigilant. What does vigilant mean? Watchful. So remember, yes, gang stalking, it's human trafficking. And we're going to go into, one may say, well, can you expound more? It says be watchful. Why? It says be sober, be vigilant, which means watchful, because your adversary, we have an adversary, a spiritual adversary, the devil. And the devil, guess what he does? Enslaves people, which is a form of trafficking. If you're in bondage, if you're trapped, if you can't do what you would want to by given a God-given authority, then that means you're in a form of bondage, which is trafficking. Okay, if you can't do what you would really want to do in a righteous way, that's what that means. So who's over there? It's the devil. He harvests souls. He's the one that has people in captivity. And it says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, roaring, so we rouse. Some of you might get the vehicles, right? With the vehicles rev, that's your enemy as a roaring lion. And the roaring lion does that for intimidation purposes as well. And when a lion roars, apparently you can hear that over a mile away, right? Walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So what does this show us? The spiritual demon, Satan, the devil, is walking about, looking, seeking whom he may devour. What does devour mean? Destroy. So he can't be everywhere. So who's he going to use to try to devour? Narcissist. All types of people to devour who? The elect, God's children. So when a lion hunts, what does it do? It goes for the weakest, or it goes for a prey that's separated from the rest of the flock. Now, with what you call gang stalking or trafficking, what do? They gather, right? They watch you, right? What do traffickers do? Right? They isolate the so-called prey from the rest of the family, right? When they go in for what the kill, right? Same thing. That's why the scriptures bring this out to be what sober and vigilant, so you don't get yourself in that situation. Okay. So we went to that, Baba Kishar. Now we're going to get another scripture, and we're going to go into the signs and so forth and what to look out for. So bubble, I hope this lesson's edifying to you. So now we're going to go to Psalms 10 and 9. And remember, there's different cases for what you call so-called gangs. There's different cases, there's different reasons why it happens. But it falls under the terms of trafficking 100%. Let's go to Psalms 10 and 9. We're going to start at, actually, we go to verse 8. Actually, we go to verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So it mentions cursing, deceit, fraud. And with this business, it's a fraudulent type of system business. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Key thing, privily set. Don't worry about the noise in the background. See, that's nothing but the enemy, man. You see, when you're speaking truth, you're going to get that kickback. So it mentions cursing, deceit, fraud. Remember, most of this is done by fraud, documents, fraudulent documents. Because Satan is a legalist. So these people, they know their way around certain loopholes within the system. Why? Because they're connected, highly connected. We're going to get into that, Lord willing. Let's stay on this. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So deceit and fraud. So guess what they can do? They can fraud your documents, your health documents and all that, and so forth. And have people looking at you like, this guy's got, when he hasn't. Make them listen, there's people that know loopholes around the system. But let's continue. And it does say, he lurketh in the villages and secret places doth he murder the innocent. You hear about certain people just dying. Well, how did that person die? It was we don't know. There was unsuspicious circumstances. He so-called committed suicide. That person never committed suicide. He was taken out. He or she was taken out. And it says, his eyes are privily set against the poor, so he preys upon the poor. And this goes into, who would prey upon the poor? People in government, they prey upon the poor. Right? That's why you also got to know about certain things, certain laws, and certain things. They were charging me about £59 every month for a bill, and which I'm not even using that much for my gas bill. So I rang them up, let them know the situation, and said, you know what? Why am I being charged this much when I'm not even using? Say if you use £20 or £15 worth of electric, why am I being charged £59? Nearly £60. See, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're naive or you're vulnerable and you just don't know the system, you will be used and abused, because that's what Satan does. There's profit off the most vulnerable within society. Major profit. Okay? And this is where the whole trafficking thing, that's where this comes into play. So now I rang them up. This was a few months ago, and said, you know what? No, I want pay as you go. So now my bill is much more cheaper. You got to know what you're doing. Scriptures have taught us to be wise out here, man. So let's go back to where we are. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. Let me slow down. Am I going too fast? He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. We went to 1 Peter, right? Your enemy as a roaring lion. Yeah, there's people that watch you for years. Years. And you may not even know that they were watching you for years. We're going to get into that. All right? And it says, as a lion in his den, he lieth in wait. So certain people will wait for the right time. They're watching you, but they wait for that right moment to catch the poor. To catch the poor. So who's a poor? Someone that's not working, someone that does have no means of financial gain, someone that doesn't really have. We're gonna go into it, Baba Kishore. And he doth catch the poor when he drive him into his net. So what's the net? The net is the system. The net is the system. The poor are preyed upon within this system, not the rich, because the rich have enough money to get themselves out of that. You see? This is why you don't want to be a victim. You know what I'm saying? He croucheth, he humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Who would the strong ones be? Those within high places and in government. Am I anti-government? Government? No, I'm not, because you need government to govern people, but you've got to govern people in the right way. Right now, it's a shambles, man. Absolute shambles. You ain't governing nothing. They're just in the pocket of the super, super rich and just doing. Whoever has more money that's telling them what to do, they're following them orders. All right? I know what I would do if I was in a position of power within this kingdom. I know what I'd be doing. All right? I'd be raising the taxes for the rich and giving to the poor. Yeah, take from the rich, give to the poor. That's how it should be done. All right? It's an uneven balance. And check this out, Baba Kushar. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten, he hath hideth his face, he will never see it. But the Lord does see. The Lord does see what you're doing. Okay? And there's a bit more, Baba Kushar. I'm going to go into it. Verse 14, that has seen it, for behold, his mischief and spite. Right? You know, pure nonsense. Oh, we need to get these people into work. We need to get... Listen, we're living in Britain. Is it that hard to get... Is it really that hard to get work? You're not living in a third world Colombia or, you know, some deserted island. It's not really that hard, is it? Right? It's not really that hard, is it? And you don't even need qualifications to work. So it's not really that much of an issue. So why would these people in power keep saying that? Because they want more slaves. They want more people feeding into the society and system. They don't want you self-reliant. They don't really want you having your own business. Then when you have your own business, they want to super tax you on that, so you have nothing. Right? But let's continue on this, Baba Kishore. Though behold his mischief and spite and requited with thine hand, and the poor committeth himself unto thee. Unto whom the Lord Jehovah Shai, thou art a helper of the fatherless. Key thing, fatherless. Right? There's a lot of fatherless. Go to council estates. What are you going to see? Fatherless households. That's a money scheme. Yep, most of you brothers know it. You grew up on a council estate. Right? What do you have? Single mother households. Well, where's the father? Huh? I know we can't have the father in the house, because if the father in the house, you can't get extra money. We can't give you money. You got to get the father out. That's all by design. When you go to Mark, it says, if a house be divided against itself, how should that house stand? They know this. So what do? They take the strong person out of their house, the father. Woman can't really raise up a man. You get more crime and so forth. Because now this man, the dad's not in the house, and he has his mother's emotions. So this is why you got loads of crime as well. That's all by design. Yeah, take the man out of the house. Just have the woman in the house. Right? So they prey upon the fatherless and the widow as well. A widow is a woman that's is bereaved of her husband because her husband passed. So is this making sense now? I hope I'm not moving too fast. Now, when we went into 1 Peter 5 and 9 and Psalms 10 and 9, what does it mention? It mentions he lieth in wait, he catcheth the poor. So now we're going to get back into the scriptures as well, but we're going to also go into the signs and what to look out for, because the whole premise of this lesson was, how is it linked to what you call gang stalking? What's the science that is linked to human trafficking? Well, when you see the tactics of gang stalking, what is it? What do you see? Are you seeing what they want you to see, or what are you seeing? You're seeing a lot of people, right? Sometimes it could be systematically, sometimes it's not systematic, but you're seeing a lot of people, a lot of characters. And what are they actually doing? Some of these people, right, they drive around in cars and they go from different borough to different borough. They would switch cars from time to time. They would do the loop and so forth. And sometimes, yeah, a lot of time they will follow you around in cars and so forth. So if that's non-stop, say if it's all day, so say if you're outside for 7 hours and that's going on for 7 hours, that means you are being highly watched. You are being highly, if that's going on for 7 hours until you get home. And even when you get home, same thing, people get notified, you're there. What is that? Then when you get home, you kind of still feel like you're being watched. What is that? That's a sign of trafficking. You go somewhere, there's traffic everywhere, you feel like it. What is that? You may see someone there, they're in a store, you come out the store, they're on the phone, you go to another place, they're on the phone. What is that? That's someone that's trying to control you, right? You speak to people, I've had this, but this don't really happen anymore. You speak to people and you may have someone that will run right in front of you and try to get you to stop speaking to that person. What is that? Because remember, there's signs of it. The isolation is the first sign. Let's go into it. Let's go. Let's start at hold on. Hold on. So it starts by the first thing. This starts by monitoring. So before there's any form of what you call trafficking or gang stalking, it will start by monitoring you. They have to follow you first. They have to know stuff about you. In order to be stalked, they have to know something about you. All right? So this starts with monitoring first, watching you. And they watch you for several years. Remember, they'll be watching for several years. This is how predators operate. This is how grooming operate. Right? And they will kind of check your dynamics, your everything, your whole family dynamics. Whole family dynamic. Who's your mother? Who's your father? Do they have any strong connections? Do they earn a lot of money? Are they connected? All right. They look at all them things. Are they connected to any organization? Do they have any type of wealth or so forth? What's that dynamic? Because they have to look at those things, because guess what? It's hard to traffic someone that's tied in with a lot of people in positions of power. So they look at family dynamics first. And they look at how you are with your family. Are you isolated? Are you someone that don't really speak to them? They look at all these things. Right? What else? Yeah, they see if you isolate. Are you alone a lot of the times? Because that's the key thing. The key thing to this is isolation a lot of the times. Right? Remember what we read in 1 Peter 5 and 10. If you have a load of people around you, strong support, there's no room for that. There's no room for that. If they see you're around a lot of people, it's when you're not. That's when they get a bit brave, right? So we went to that Babakasha. So they look at that, they will send people your way. I'm speaking from experience. They tap you. Example, your father has a car. Remember, these people, they're connected. So they will have someone that's in the car business, a mechanic. They will have something happen to your car. And then there'd be someone that pulls up, what's wrong with your car? No, this ain't working. So they get the people, they would tow that car, be your father, your mother, because I've seen this happen with my father. Tow that car, right? Remember, these people that tow the truck, they know what's going on. Next thing, your father's car is being implanted with a device, so now they can see where your father goes. Now they can map out your father's movements. So this is very, 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 very orchestrated. They check not just you, but they check your family dynamics. Right? This is how they do things. They implant devices. They do all of that. So let me slow down. What else? support system. That's the main thing they'll get at as well. Let's see if we can cut he or she support system off. Because if you don't have no, which we do have a support system, it's Yahweh Shai, right? If you don't have no support system, it's harder for you for anyone to reach out to you or to reach out to them. So therefore, you're in a place of vulnerability. They need you to be vulnerable. They need you to be in a place of despair. This is what predators do. This is what groomers do. All right? And trafficking is not, it's not necessarily a bad word, right? What is it? It's commerce, it's trade, it's supply. That's what it is. So don't get it twisted. It's just been given a bad stigma because of certain people, because of predators. Okay. So just know it's commerce, it's selling, it's buying, it's merchandise. You have something that's value. And the reason why some people get trafficked because they're of value. So it's not always a bad thing in some ways. Depends how you look at it. Depends the circumstance. So let's get back to where we are. And let's before we get back to this, what is it? You send your child, you send your children to school, they're being trafficked. You send your children to school for a certain amount of time, right? In a car, you may have to drive 5 miles, 10 miles, some of you train, whatever. Same thing. Same thing. Someone, remember babysitting. When I was younger, you get babysitted, the mother has to go to work or whatever. Same thing. Right? For a service, whether they're getting paid to the service. All right? It all ties into the same thing. Whether it's prostitution, whether it's drug dealing, whether it's what else? Whether it's racketeering, whether it's arms smuggling. It all ties under the same. Oh, they're trying to hit me with energy weapons. Now I'm speaking of this. Is what they do as well. We're going to speak about that, right? As well. So it all ties onto one. You can all merge it with one category. It's gangstal can be termed as it's trafficking, smuggling, racketeer, whatever you want to call it, right? But there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not all negative. So there's many different signs of it, many different signs, all right? Even the technology part, like just as I was speaking about this, they just tried to hit me, in my lower region, my stomach region with some type of energy weapon. So what does that show you? They have also technology, biotechnology to hit certain people with or target certain people with. And I've done lessons on this before, right? And this is how they're able to, attack people's, vital organs. And when they attack people's vital organs, that also ties in with the same thing, depending if they don't look after themselves. What can this tie in with? Human trafficking. Oh, I've got a bad liver. My heart's bad. Why? Because you're being targeted also with electric weapons that could do harm to the body. So there's many different aspects of this, but gang stalking, you have people complaining about energy weapons, right? Why? Because it's the same thing. And now you hear that, don't know if you can hear that in the background, that's gang stalkers, where I'm living right now. They've even got gang stalkers where I'm living, right? How do you know they're not traffickers? You see what I'm saying? This is why you have to be circumspect. Don't bug out, don't give these people's attention, because gang stalking is based on attention and a lot of it is witchcraft. But the root of it, I believe it is tied, it has its connections with what people call human trafficking. I believe so. Because it's the same type of tactics, right? It's the same type of tactics. And what do you see with this particular operation? You see a lot of cult members, right? Cult members. And you have sex cults, right? You have sex cults, which are known as MK Ultra. So a sex cult, when you do the research, what's it linked to? What they say, MK Ultra, which is linked to Monarch programming, which is linked to Six Kitten program, which are, who runs that is, what do they call it? The oligarchs, powerful people, right? In business, in commerce, in military, in, you know, different landscapes. Elitists run that, right? So I always say follow the money. Yeah, they're trying to hit. They don't like what I'm speaking, and they're trying to hit me with energy weapons. This is what they do. So it's linked in with elitists, where you see people wearing a butterfly, right? The women wearing a butterfly. You will see a circle. It's not like you see a heart, right? A heart symbolism with I think it's a circle in the middle of it, which I believe represents paedophilia. Right? I think it's a heart with a whirling circle. But they got all types of symbolism and all them type of things there. But it is linked also to the sex industry. So who flipping knows your biofrequency? You could be bio-trafficked. This is real flipping stuff. And I can speak about this with clear validation because from time to time, they even, listen, bro, I've been through this. I know. Right? Brothers have been through certain things. Right? So even just with your body, that can even be sold on the market. People looking at it. And so this is what you call a dark web. It's connected. That's why it's so hard to defeat, because there's so many layers to it, depending on how you look at it. Right? Have you ever heard of the dark web? The dark web is associated with the dark industry, right? And so forth. The porn industry, the MK Ultra, and sex kitten, which is a programming to your lower self and to your lower ambitions, and the different leopard prints and all that, and so forth. Okay? So I hope I'm not bringing out too much too soon, but we're letting you know. And this is what's upsetting these people as well. Okay? Good. Very good. So we went to that. See what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Out here trying to traffic people. Trying to biohack people and things like that. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, they will also park. Excuse me, just a minute. They will park cars. You may see certain cars like red, white, where you're residing. Sometimes these cars will move when you come back in. Sometimes they will move them opposite your house. Sometimes outside of it, because they want you to know that they're watching you. It's like a subconscious type of psychological thing. Because remember, these are cults. They're under mind control, so they use mind control techniques. Right, so it's all interwoven. So these tactics, the links, right, the things that they do is very, 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 very similar. Very similar. But when you show that you're at a certain age, you can look after yourself, Yahweh can look after you, then that's not needed. You don't need someone looking over your shoulder. What's he doing? Do it this way. Oh yeah, of course there's an element of control. There's an element of control that comes with it, because trafficking is about what? It's about control. And it's about putting you in a situation that you wouldn't put yourself in. You see? You see? So you use wisdom, trust in the Lord, and he would deal with everything else, isn't it? There's so many other things I could bring up, but I want to kind of keep this one short. So let's see what else we got, Baba Kishar. They don't want you to be dependent. They want you to be codependent. And I've got news for you. In terms of family, your mother or your father, 9 times out of 10, they had a handler. Facts. And what's the goal of a handler? The handler is basically to tell that person, all right, we're going to instruct this person, we're going to set them up like this and that, and they're going to do this. So you do have handlers within family dynamics. And guess what? Brothers that are in the truth, sisters that are in the truth, as soon as you wake up to this truth, well, how do you think that makes the handler feel? And you never know what that handler is like, what type of mentality they have. They get upset because they were like, hold on, no, we set out for your son to do this, but he's doing it this way. Bro, so many different things happen. So many different things happen. Right? So they're just in charge of setting you up in a certain way. Right? So check this out, Baba Kishar. They want you codependent. They want you dependent on people. Because if you're dependent on people, then you're not going to be able to do for yourself. We'll send gifts. Some of these people send gifts to you. Tactics are to undermine you or your mental. So with gang stalking, what's it designed to do? To undermine your mental clarity, which is another form of trafficking. Because what do you see to these people that are in the healthcare, or what do you call it? What's it? The care work type of thing. These people are signed off as sick, can't look after themselves, mentally unstable. So you also got to be careful when you see ambulances pulling up, hospital workers always pulling up, because there's an agenda, right? Sometimes your gang stalking could be corporate level, sometimes it could just be narcissist type level, sometimes it could be a cult level, sometimes it could be military level. But if it's all them things, then wow, bruh, that means you're a holy threat to something. So you will also see hospital workers and ambulances partaking in this as well, with the honking of the sirens and so forth, trying to send you mad, mess with your mental. Sometimes you have them parking outside, so you see them to basically, remember, it's psychology. This is a mental game to try and get into your heads. Like, yeah, you're gonna be in there soon if you don't comply. So they do all types of things. They also use hearses. I've seen that, a hearse, right, to get into your head. So there's many different things. Remember, gang stalking is based on psychology. Yeah, they try to hit me. They're trying to hit me with these weapons. It's also based on psychology as well. They want you to undermine what you see. All right, that's what they want you to do. See what else we got, Baba Krishna. So we went to that. What else? Tactics to undermine you and your mental surveillance. Hold on just a minute. Let me just do something to block this out, because as I'm doing this lesson, they're trying to hit me right now with some biofrequency. So guess what that means? They have access to your living space. Well, how can they gain access? How would they be able to get through contractors? We're going to speak through contractors, right? The biofrequency is through contracting, right? Through technology. Come on. And I know that because they have certain contracting companies that pull up certain days, basically. So this is very real stuff. It's not made up. What do I need to give names? So it says Baba Kishar. They use surveillance. So I believe right now where I'm residing, they have some type of form of surveillance. They can definitely hear what I'm saying. Definitely. Why? Because I've tried it out. I've said certain things and I've got certain reactions, which shows you they can hear, even right now what I'm doing, they can hear it. They can hear every single word. Anything you're talking about in your purpose, they can hear it. Because they have devices, they can implant devices in the walls. It's not mad. It's only mad if you don't understand this type of thing. That's all human trafficking. It's about control. Right? When you go outside, they step out the same time you step out. So that means they would have some knowledge of you just stepping out your house. How would they be able to do that? How do they know you're at your house? How? You just really gotta ask it. How? I just stepped out 5 minutes and all of a sudden the whole block, everybody comes out. How would they know? That means you would have to have some type of device or camera or something within that premises that can see you when you step out. Then the rest of the people get notified to do whatever they're doing. Telling me this ain't real, bro. No one's mad, bro. It's just that you're wicked. That's all. I mean, exposing your tactics. And it's not everyone, but it's a lot of people. So surveillance, this is one of their main tactics, how they can basically tell you certain things you've done throughout the day through your surveillance. Right? That's how they're able to do that. And they try to put witchcraft upon you basically 24/7. They will hire neighbors, and these are the same people. They will hire neighbors, they will hire tenants, they will hire your community as well. It depends. This is what they would do. Some say it's law enforcement. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Because this can only be done through a form of law. Because it's illegal, right? It's straight up illegal. All them tax is straight up illegal. So the only way that this could be pulled off is through someone that has connections to law, right? And these type of people, you're telling me traffickers don't have no connections? They have every connection they need, every type of connection. They have connection to lawyers, judges, police, banks, communities. It's not hard for them. Schools, post offices, they have all that. So it's not hard for them to find a loophole within the system to justify them watching people illegally. All right, come on. And it says these people know people in high places, so they can also use loopholes. They use secret courts, shadow legal system. Satan is what you call a legalist. They can use contractors. How do I know? Because I've seen it throughout my time, bro. I've had contractors that have been contracted out to me, right, to try and mess with me. And this is why you might see a lot of trucks within your community. And these trucks, right, they're like big trucks. White trucks, sometimes blue trucks, sometimes vans. They would do blue vans, red vans, white vans. And some of these vans, they have technology within that van. And within this van, it collects data of you. And it collects everything that's on your phone, including your connections, mother, father. And with that, they can also get your mother, your father's number, and they can try to hack them. I'm talking about spiritually hack, because this is Stingray. So when you see some of these trucks, they might park up a little while because they try to gain off the Wi-Fi and all that and data, and they get that data, and they also try to hit you with frequency. You also got cars that park up and try one headlight and all that, and incapacitate. I know about all those tactics. So what does that sound like to you? We're still talking about gang stalking. What does it sound like? It sounds very trafficky, right? Very trafficky. That someone wants to handle you, right? This is it's making sense, right? And they use doctors, certain doctors as well. I've been to the doctors a couple times so far, and guess what? When I was in that doctor's, you never believe what I saw. People were already positioned in that doctor's. You had couple shady African men, West African men that were already in there before I was in there. You had another guy before I got in there, he was by the door acting sketchy. Then he walked back out. Then even worse, when I looked at the staff, right, you could tell the staff was changed around. You had one guy that was at the reception. This guy had all types of tattoos on him that looked like an occult member. So you've got to understand this is it's part systematic as well. They have connections. So when I went into that doctor's place, right, this is just to get a check because I was cautious in it. They do certain things, and so I got a check. Nothing was there, but I knew, this is mad. What was going on? They don't want you to speak about these things. Trying to control people, man. You can't even control yourself. Fuck out of here, Satan. And that's pretty much it on that. So they are all the signs. So the things we just mentioned, that's gang stalking in everything rolled in one. It's people watching you, right? That's what it is. It's evil entities watching you. And there's a lot of summoning that goes into that as well. But it's not for you to be afraid of. I believe your awareness is everything. Your discernment is everything. Okay? And just be very careful of the company you keep, because you're labeled with the people that are around you. So they could also send, all right, example. Say if I'm teaching in the wilderness, right? I'm teaching in the wilderness or some park, then there's a certain group of people that walk past my camera, and that whole park is filled with a certain group of people, and this certain group of people, they're known for certain things. If they always see them around you, guess what they're going to try to do? Say, hold on, is he a part? Does he know them? Does he know these people? Because these people seem to be a part of this club or whatever, and every time he's there, these people are there. This is why you have to be aware and use discernment. You see? I hope this is edifying, man. What's up? What else have we got, Baba Kishar? Jeremiah 49 and 11. Let's go. Hope this is edifying. So this all the connections that tie in with it. We got Lamentations as well. This is just for awareness. Let's go to Ezekiel 28. I brought this out several times. And go straight to verse 18. That has defied thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thy iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Mentions it in Ezekiel. Therefore will I bring a fire from the midst of thee. So it says, by the iniquities of thy traffic. All right. So this is iniquity, but it's money at the end of the day. All right. Would you want to stop if you were earning, if you knew it was an industry bringing in billions, 60 or 30 billion? I think 60, I think it's 60, something like that. Or 300, no, hold it, it's more than that, it's 160 billion. That's big money. If you stop this, if you put an end to this, listen. Oh my, if you put an end to that, you know how many businesses would be affected? Because working as well, if you're an employer, you're being paid for a service. All right, I have this service. You're a builder. All right, I do it for this much and for this service, and this person pays. Plumber, whether it's teacher or whatever, plasterer, electrician, you're offering your services for a wage. That's what it is. That's why I say it's not always what you think it is. It's not always evil. It depends on the situation. Now, if someone's being passed around, moved around by their own, against their own will, then that's evil, right? Because they never decided that. That's why when you see these things on the news about, oh, we got to stop these migrants from coming to the UK. The migrants are going to the UK in different places because they want to seek refuge. And their countries are being destroyed and they don't have enough, or then they would be fleeing. And when they do come to the UK, what do you find out? They've been smuggled, a lot of them, and they're willing to, some of them work for cheaper. Some of them are on benefits, but some of them work and they work for cheaper. And a lot of them get trafficked into certain houses. Okay, and these houses, they call it, have you ever watched Slum Landlords? That's what happens all around London. Stop with the bullcrap, man. Stop with the rubbish, man. What are you playing at? So we went to that. I also want to get, we got Jeremiah 49 and Lamentations 4 and 10. Let's go. Big ass, I keep saying, big ass elephant in the room. Everybody acts stupid. Let's go to Jeremiah. Well, not everybody, certainly. It depends how you're looking at it. Jeremiah 49. And I've told you about some of these children. I've told you about, not all, but some of these children that you may see walking around with so-called parents are not actually their parents. A lot of these children were adopted, or the family were on drugs, or they were special children in a good way, chosen ones, and they were isolated from their support system. Now they're in what you call social cares, adopted by individuals that don't really care about them. Because a lot of you, with this gang stalking thing, I've heard certain brothers say, yeah, they use children. They like to use children as well. And the prams and all that. I've heard it, right? A lot more people are speaking about this. Yeah, not all of these people, when you see the child with them, it's not always their child. Some of these children are in care homes, adopted, and so forth. Okay, and came from a family of abuse. Okay. So it varies. These things happen. These things, as I'm speaking now, these things are happening. Okay, let's see what else we got, Baba Kushal. Them demons are panicking now. And I'm not even outside doing this. I'm indoors doing this lesson and they're still panicking. Let's go to Isaiah 49. All right. And therefore, if this is happening, right, which it is happening, you see my videos, right? I've shown you so much information. Therefore, if that's happening in certain places within the UK, then guess who would need to be investigated? Your government. Because guess who runs the gang stalking program? Your flipping government. So it's trafficking, right? So guess who's running it? That's why now are you seeing the patterns now? Are you seeing the patterns? This is why you're seeing certain people in positions of power starting to panic. Because if their name gets indicted, then they're fucked, basically. This is why people got to keep covering. You go out, you mind your business. You're going from place to place. You go to a store, you get bum rush. You get all of a sudden these people coming into stores, and you go here, you go there. That's all done by government. All these people getting moved around, and there's a lot of it is technology as well. So where was we? Jeremiah 49 and 11. This Jeremiah 14, actually 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He should not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. For thus saith the Lord power, behold. Oh, hold on just a minute. So yeah, we went to that. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. So the fatherless are preyed upon. The fatherless would be vulnerable, right? Fatherless, which indicate single mother household. That's what it indicates, right? Guess what? Gang stalking happens to a lot of women. Single mother women. Right? Is it making sense now? Why a single mother woman? Because she's somewhat she's somewhat vulnerable. There you go. I hope this is making sense. All right? So we went to that. Let's also go to, we got Psalms 14 and 14. Let's go to Psalm 14 and 14. Let's also go to Lamentations 4 and 8. What are you going to say about that, man? Huh? What are you going to say? Huh? Okay, sure. And I want to say this as well. If anyone's listening to this video and you getting upset because we're speaking against this certain things and you got some real issues, man. You got some real issues. Let's go to Lamentations 4. If you got a problem with this video in terms of us bringing it out, then you got some real issues. If not, then you ain't. Go to Lamentations 4 and 17 and 18. This was during the time of Jeremiah, during the time of the Babylonian captivity. They hunt our steps. Do you ever feel like with gang stalking, your steps are being hunted, right? You feel like you're being in some way followed, right? Because they are hunting your steps. It's a satanic network, right? That we cannot go in our streets, and really they want you, the whole goal is to make you scared and have you isolated and not you speaking your truth. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. This was during Jeremiah, the persecution of Babylon. So it's the same thing there, same thing again today. The whole thing is it's like a hunting. They're trying to hunt you, trying to make you feel as much uncomfortable as possible and control you. All right? They are the tactics, man. They are the tactics. So let's shut off on Psalms 14 and 4. Because I'm about 49 minutes into this lesson. Let's go. Psalms 44 and 18. Let's go. So it's nothing you're making up. Of course you're not making it up. But you have people that participate in this type of thing, whether they know they're doing it or not. All right? And they switch the cars from time to time. So you might have you might have a Land Rover that parks outside and all of a sudden they will park somewhere else. Or sometimes they might park consistently. Right? They switch things up. Psalms 14 and where should we go? Baba Kasha. Oh yeah, they were trying to triangulate you, box you in. That's trafficking, man. Let's go to Psalms 14 and 14. Check this out. Hold on just a minute. Can't find it right now. Seeing I can't find it, we're just gonna have to shut off here. But that's pretty much all you need to know about that. And yeah, hold on. Oh, We got this. This is Psalm 17 and jump straight to 11. Right? They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Have you noticed that with some of these people, you would be very careful. They will walk past you and they will be saying something under their breath and they will have a very angry type of countenance. So what does it say? They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, probably conjuring something up. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, as it were a young lion lurketh in secret places, which we mentioned. As lions, predators. How do you protect yourself from a predator? You gain a network of people that can be entrusted, right? And you talk to people that can be trusted that are not a part of that network. And you stay in prayer, and you don't self-sabotage, right? And yeah, that's what you do. So I'm going to shut off here, Lord, when this was edifying, and until the next time, shalom to the hopeful in it. Shalom. Shalom.